Hi there, I'm Dan Taylor, and I am Zero Level Media. You may have been on this channel before. I have my discussions with Steve Conley on Mazes and Muses, in which we talk about Dungeons and Dragons and the creative process. And regarding Dungeons and Dragons and creators, there has been of a lot of stuff going on regarding the open game license and how it affects Dungeons and Dragons as well as creators. Now, full disclosure, I am not a Wizards of the Coast homer by any means. This whole firestorm that has broken out was purely bad judgment on Wizards of the Coast and their parent company, Hasbro. With that said, I love Dungeons and Dragons. I have been playing Dungeons and Dragons, some edition or another, since I was 9 years old. I'm 55 years old now. I love Dungeons and Dragons. Dungeons and Dragons has been a very important part of my life. Dungeons and Dragons has probably saved my life. So to say that I was concerned and hurt by the leaked OGL that came out a couple weeks ago would be an understatement. I've been involved with Dungeons and Dragons as a player, as a dungeon master, as well as a content creator for some time now. I have created content since the original OGL came out. Not a lot. There's probably not a whole bunch of my stuff you can find out there. I dabbled in it more, then made a living off of it. It was beer money. By the way, I don't drink anymore. I've been sober 10 years, but that's besides the point. Now, what I want to discuss today is about 2 hours ago, Wizards of the Coast released a new statement. And this time, it appears as if the executive producer on Dungeons and Dragons, Kyle Brink, drew the short straw on this one. And I have not heard of Kyle before this posting on D&D Beyond until now, but I'm thankful that he stepped up and presumably is starting the conversation, a working conversation about the open gaming license as it states here. So here's what we've got. He introduces himself. Hi, I'm Kyle Brink, the executive producer of D&D. It's my team that makes the game we all play. Again, thanks, Kyle, for stepping up to the plate. He states that D&D has been a huge part of his life long before he worked at Wizards and will be for a long time after I'm done. His mission is that the entire D&D team is to help bring everyone the creative joy and lifelong friendships that D&D has given us. D&D has given me lifelong friendships, and it has allowed me to express my creativity, and for that I am grateful. Again, I played D&D for a long, long time before Kyle became executive producer of D&D, I'm sure. And he's here to talk today about the path forward. And they start off with an apology. They state, "We are sorry. We got it wrong." Damn right you did. You got it wrong. And right now, I'm going to say apology accepted for now, with a caveat on that. They state that their language and requirements of the draft of the OGL was disruptive to creators and not in support of their goals for protecting and cultivating an inclusive play environment and limiting the OGL to tabletop role-playing games. They compounded things by being silent for too long, and we all agree on that. They were silent for too long. We hurt fans and creators, or they hurt fans and creators, and I am one of them. Kyle states that with more frequent and clear communications could have prevented so much of this, and that is so true, so very much true. So starting now, they're going to do a better way, more open and transparent with our entire community of creators, with time to iterate, to get feedback, and to improve. Now, a lot of these creators sound as if no apology is acceptable. The harm is done, and everything is ruined. I'm optimistically looking that we could ride out the storm and hopefully get through to the other side and continue to play and create and enjoy Dungeons and Dragons as we have for many years. Whether you came on board with 5th edition or if you've played as long as I have for 40, 100,000 years. He states that they listen to us, the community, the D&D community, and they're going to share with what they've heard. And much like their Unearthed Arcana and D&D playtest, they're going to, I guess, put out the new OGL drafts, supposed drafts this time of the OGL, and start the conversation before they release any future version of the OGL. Now, this is good. This is something they should have done at the beginning. Right now, I'm going to chalk it up that it was overzealous executives. They're not as familiar with our community as the Dungeons & Dragons community as we are of players and creators. And that by no means is that an excuse for what they did. But, you know, in the end, it is a corporation, and they think of us as customers. Not everybody at Wizards of the Coast feels this way, I'm sure. There are plenty of creative forces in Wizards of the Coast that we all love, we all respect, and we know that they're probably hiding under their desk until this blows over. Hopefully they got their heads peeking up now, and they can get on and start creating, and we can just, you know, keep moving forward. So let's look a little bit more and do what they say. Kyle states that we deserve some stability and clarity, and they are going to commit themselves to giving creators both input into and room to prepare for any update to the OGL. Now, this should be taken as great news. I know a lot of creators out there are skeptical, and they'll say, yeah, we'll see. And nope, too bad. You had your chance. We're out. Again, I'm looking to ride out the storm. I love D&D too much, and it's been too important part of my life to just, you know, give up on it at this point. So they said any changes to the OGL will have no impact on at least the following creative efforts. Now they underline at least, so that means they may add more that will not have any impact, and that again is more hope for creators that it'll be a better OGL. Now, many feel, and I agree with you that the original OGL should stick and straight, and you know, people should be able to create from that. The original intent on that was for it to last forever and let, you know, it work on. That being said, if they choose a new OGL for the 6th edition or the Open D&D, or the one, not Open D&D, but the one D&D that they're calling it, if they want that to fall under a new OGL, that is fine. That is their prerogative. It is their proper intellectual property. I am not going to begrudge them. I'm not going to hold a grudge. It's fine. Let them do that. Everything that's been created under the original OGL should stay put. And people should still be able to create 5e material for it. That is fine. So I'm not going to get into all the other companies starting their new OGLs or their ORCs or stuff like that. That is great. I think, you know, let's do it. Go out there, expand. You know, the fact that there are new games coming out of this mess is wonderful. There should be more role-playing games. Let's flood the market. Let's have a renaissance. That is fine. Dungeons & Dragons is not the only role-playing game out there. It is my favorite. It is a very important part of my life. I have, over here on shelves you can't see, hundreds of different role-playing games. Do I play them all? No. Dungeons & Dragons is what I play the most. It's what I played the most. And again, that may be why I feel over the last 45 5 some odd years that I played it is why I am willing to give it a chance. The new Dungeons and Dragons going forward from here. So, very important to me. Things that will have no impact on with this new OGL are video content. Whether you're a commentator, streamer, podcaster, live play cast member, or other video creator on platforms as YouTube and Twitch and TikTok, you'll always been covered under the Wizards fan current policy. The OGL doesn't and won't touch any of this. That is good news for my Catacombs and Comedians that I stream here on this channel. Zero Level Media on Twitch. Little plug in there for you. As well, I'm going to take it as far as say that's good for my live stage shows that I do at comedy clubs. Catacombs and Comedians features live comics, stand-up comedians playing Dungeons and Dragons awfully poorly, much to my haggard dungeon mastering. And it sounds like we're okay there. Accessories for your own content. No change to the OGL will affect the ability to sell minis, novels, apparel, dice, and other items related to your creations, characters, and worlds. Again, my Catacombs and Comedians stickers and buttons and etc. should be fine. That's all good. Non-published works, for instance, contracted services. You use the OGL and you wish to publish a work that reference 5th edition through the SRD. That means commissioned work, paid DM services, consulting, and so on aren't affected by the OGL. Virtual tabletop content. Any updates to the OGL will still allow any creator to publish content on virtual tabletops and will allow virtual tabletop publishers to use OGL content on their platform. We all know that Wizards of the Coast is probably striving for their own virtual tabletop through D&D Beyond. That's probably not a secret or anything. I don't really play for virtual tabletop, so I don't have a dog in that race. Will I in the future? Will I in the future? Maybe, hopefully, probably. But right now, it doesn't affect me. That doesn't mean to say it doesn't affect other people and they should be concerned about it. But right now, it sounds like virtual tabletop content is good to go. DM's Guild content. The content you release on DM's Guild is published under a community content agreement and Dungeon Masters Guild. This is not changing. So I don't think we have anything to fear there. Your OGL 1.0A content. Nothing will impact any content you have published under OGL 1.0A. That will always be licensed under OGL 1.0A. Now, that's not to say they're going to revoke that and you can't use that later down the road, but it sounds like we're going to have enough open gaming license or ORCs to work. Now, I hear you out there saying published past tense. So that means that stuff is good. We may not be able to publish under the new OGL 1 or 1.1 or whatever. We'll have to see how that goes. But again, I think there's going to be alternatives to using different OGL. Will you be able to do or 1 D&D content or 6th edition D&D content? Maybe not. Maybe you will have to follow their OGL. Your revenue. There will be no royalty or financial reporting requirements. Good. If they wanted 25% of the profit or money I make off it, fine. I don't make any profit off most of the stuff I do. And if I think fair is fair, if they want to do it that way, then they should help pay for my credit card bills, the money that I put into the projects. Now, your ownership of your content. You will continue to own your content with no license back requirements. Great. So they're not out to steal our stuff. If they were going to steal your stuff, you'd probably be working for them at this point. I mean, now Kyle finishes, but that's all from him for now. And we'll hear again from them before Friday as described above. And they look forward to the conversation. Oh, I wouldn't if I was Kyle, but I get it. I think this is a step in the right move. I think this is promising. What does it mean for me personally? Okay. Catacombs and Comedians was part of my 0 level media. I'm going to change that. Catacombs and Comedians is going to be its own entity unto itself by itself. Just leave it there. Zero Level Media won't be creating or publishing any Dungeons and Dragons third-party content until after the final new OGL is out, and it's specifically, I have an idea of what it is and what it means. Zero Level Media may not ever publish any D&D stuff. I may keep it separate. I may come up with another imprint to do just Dungeons and Dragons material, third-party material. I'm looking now at all these different game systems. A lot of companies now have decided to have their own SRDs, open up their material, their own content creating communities. And this is great. This is what I've been looking for. I want to dive into other role-playing games. I want to see and play in other sandboxes. I want to create with these other tools. So that is what Zero Level Media will be focusing on. I will be checking out these other game systems that allow creative content to be created by third parties. And so look, if you're checking me out right now for the first time because you thought this was going to be an OGL, let's burn Wizards of the Coast down to the ground video, like there have been so many of this last week. Hopefully you'll follow, check out Zero Level Media, and check out in the future and see what I come up with these other games. I will keep you up to date if you do follow me around on what I will be doing with Dungeons and Dragons. But again, I'm going to hold off on that, except for when it comes to Catacombs and Comedians. Catacombs and Comedians still exist. We've got a stream later tonight. Catacombs and Comedians, Wrath of the Aristocrats. And it's the first and third Wednesday of every month going forward. And in fact, I've got a live show at Zany's in Nashville, Zany's Comedy Club, next Tuesday, the 24th, I believe. And then next month on the 22nd of February, down in Huntsville, Alabama, I will be at the Stand Up Live Comedy Club with another group of players, and we will be playing Catacombs of Comedians. We will be playing Dungeons and Dragons. Now, I've got some fun stuff planned. I've got an evil wizard named Watzi who is looking to destroy, let's just call it the Adventurers Guild license, or the AGL. So you got that to look forward to. So I will be poking fun at this all because that's what I do. I'm finding the humor in this, and it's going to be presented in Catacombs and Comedians. I'm going to have a lot of fun with it. But for those of you who this has affected and it's been hard for you, I'm so sorry you feel this way. It's been rough for all of us, and but I am looking forward to the future, and I'm hoping everything works out, and we all get to have fun with Dungeons and Dragons and continue to have fun with Dungeons and Dragons in the future. So that's it. That is my so-called rant, my OGL rant. I waited until there was some good news. And again, if you're checking this out, please go ahead, and it'll be on YouTube, and it'll be here on Twitch, and follow Zero Level Media. That's the numeral 0 LVL MEDIA at the various social medias like Twitter and Instagram and Facebook. And let's create, let's have fun. Let's all play role-playing games, and may you make all of your saving throws. Thanks.